Yeah, man. You know what it is, man. It's your boy Good Savage back again for another Savage Talk, man. Impromptu, like that. But I scheduled it about 10 minutes ago. I ain't even expecting anyone to be here still. What I was going to do pre-recorded, but as I told you guys before, on the system I'm using, it's a little bit easier just to throw it up as a live stream. Then it stays on the system instead of having to edit and do all that stuff after. So that's the reason why I'm doing it. So if no one comes across, no one comes along, it's fine. But I also pretty much do this when the big talking wrestling topics going on. Sometimes I'm just not interested in them. But I understand obviously I run a wrestling channel. So I normally wait for a certain amount of messages or DMs to come in. Once I get like over 10, 15 people asking me to speak about a certain topic or a certain issue, situation, then I'll just jump on and do it. So have no qualms with that. Got a little bit of time. Finished off with a client. So I'm here, man. But obviously, it's in the title of the video, isn't it, man? I don't know, man. Listen, I'm just a wrestling fan who is enthusiastic and decided to try and make not decided to try. I did try to make some sort of a career through wrestling in some kind of way, just because it's fun to me. So why not mesh the both with the love for pro wrestling, the love for making content, and then make some money off it and do what I need to do and stuff like that. And now also a lot of these things I will be doing anyway. I'll be talking to whichever one of my friends like wrestling. I'll be talking to them about the same topics which I've been doing today. Same with reaction videos. I'll be watching the wrestling anyway, so why not record it? So I say that to say this, Senate, because some people are new to the channel. If you are new, welcome. If you're not new, Demon Team stand up. You know the vibes already. I called it Dear Tony Khan for a simple reason, because it's getting out of hand a little bit. I mean, I don't think. Listen, no, if you're part of the wrestling community, if you're anything to do with this, you know that you're not living under a rock in it. So you know what's happened over the last 24 hours. Pretty much all in AEW. Nothing major, but that's probably one of the reasons why I'm talking about it as well, just to address it in terms of the fans, because everyone's getting a bit, everyone's going over the top about it a little bit. So obviously, we had maybe 2 weeks ago, I think it was the week before WrestleMania, we had CM Punk's interview with Ariel Helwani. It was his first interview with Ariel since he had come back to the WWE, I think, if I'm correct about that. So obviously, Ariel Helwani wanted to address everything with CM Punk, from his time at AEW to his new time at WWE and everything in between. Not also his UFC story, his life story, and everything like that. So obviously, they asked him about what happened at AEW, why he left, and all these things. And I have to be honest, I don't particularly care anymore. I didn't care at the time. I just thought it was weird. But I don't care. I don't care. Like, this is their business, in terms of like, it's somebody's job, it's somebody's career. But to cut a long story short, because there's no point going through and explaining the whole thing, at AEW All In, which was last year August, I actually attended that event with my son, which ended up being CM Punk's last AEW match. Obviously, while I was there watching it, I didn't know. I just watched a great match between him and Samoa Joe. What to the lack of knowledge of us fans, backstage before CM Punk came out, there was an altercation between him and Jack Perry. That resulted in Tony Khan turning up I think it's the following week on All Out, addressing the Chicago crowd, telling that CM Punk's been removed and he feared for his life in this situation. And basically, it's a little bit of a scuffle. In this interview, what CM Punk had, he obviously explained everything what happened. To CM Punk's words, not verbatim, because I haven't got them in front of me, but I've watched the video loads of times already. He pretty much said he went up to Jack Perry to address the situation. What basically he asked Tony Khan to handle, and Tony Khan said, "What do you want me to do about it?" So he decided to go and handle it himself. Within that conversation, both men were face to face. It got slightly heated. CM Punk said that Jack Perry got in his space, so he put him in kind of a headlock. But he pushed him first, got him in kind of a headlock, and the altercation was over within like 20 seconds. Realistically, it was. Samoa Joe stepped in, pulled him apart. Chris Hero was there. No, Aleister Black was there. And that was it. But obviously, we've had WrestleMania since. A massive WrestleMania, a massive weekend for WWE, for everyone included, including CM Punk, even though he's injured. And we had this trailer from the Young Bucks saying, we're going to show the footage from All In on Dynamite. Now, instantly when I heard this, at first I was like, I don't know if they're trying to derail WrestleMania weekend or are they just trying to squash the narrative of what CM Punk said. The assumption would be, which was here, the assumption would be is that CM Punk's lying. To me, anyway. Like I was thinking straight away, if they're gonna be posting this video, usually it's like when somebody goes, "Okay, I'm gonna show you the screenshots, get my side of the story out." Um, yeet. So yeah, that was the assumption. Did I care? Not really. Did I look forward to it? Not really. Did I set an alarm for Dynamite to watch this footage? No, not really. In fact, my son was getting ready for school. I clicked on YouTube in the morning. Can't remember what I was watching before we went to school, and then I was like, "Oh yeah, Young Bucks," because I saw the obviously the AEW YouTube page come up. So like, okay, I'm going to go check the AEW YouTube page because I know that's going to be out there. Obviously, man's a content creator, COE, content over everything. I was like, oh, should I make this into some content? Should I go do a reaction video to it? And normally, what I do is if there's a video that comes out, unless it's a live video, I'll just take the video, download it, and I'll react to it live so you guys can see my full reaction. Then I remember it's AEW and they will strike you and kick the stuff down. So obviously you can see on the screen that is the picture of them backstage. I clicked on it, and no word of a lie, everything that CM Punk said in that interview is what I saw. Apart from the fact there's no audio, but everything he said in the interview was there, and I clicked off it. And then I went around the internet, and I saw that it was trending. I saw those responses from people. I saw there was content creators, and I get why content creators are doing it. That's your job. You're a content creator, go make it. So there's thumbnails flying all over the internet with this on. I could have, put a bit more effort into it and put more effort into it. Sorry, son. Pablo, relax. It's just some other Mogul dog. It's okay. I could have put more effort into it. I could have made a great thumbnail. I could have recorded a reaction video. I could have made it to this big talking point. I could have made a 20-minute video over a 1-minute video. And I decided not to. I didn't really care too much. But as I said, DMs came in. People said, oh, do you want to talk about it? I got a bit of time now. If I didn't, I wouldn't even try to. And I don't get what the hype is about, is what I'm here to say. I don't get it. I don't get what the hype is about. I think it was a stupid idea from AEW. Whether anyone agrees with me or not, couldn't give a shit. I'm not tribal with this wrestling thing. Do I have a favorite wrestling company? Well, yeah, AEW is not my favorite over that and WWE. But that's not a problem. Of course, it's not. I've been watching WWE my whole life. And AEW I've been watching since it started, and it ain't been here that long. You know what I mean? WWE's got, for me as a human, it's got like 30 odd years head start. So, of course, it's not. All my favorite wrestlers come from WWE, and all my favorite wrestlers in AEW come from WWE. So, for me, and I've been telling fans to do this as well, fans who get tribal between WWE and AEW and start dissing people, I'm like, okay, you can analyze the product and say it's not good, but a lot of people who say AEW is not good don't watch it anyway. So they're just saying it's not good. Also, if I was a fan of you in WWE, then the likelihood is I like you as a person. I still want you to have a job. And if WWE released you, then I'm glad you've got a home in TNA or AEW or New Japan. Do I watch it constantly? Yeah, I watch it every week. Do I say it to watch it live every week? No. But I like it. I mean, flipping out, they got Samoa Joe, Edge, and Daniel Bryan over there. Like, what's not to like? You know what I mean? And then some of our favorite WWE wrestlers from the last couple of years, Adam Cole's over there, Keith Lee's over there, Aleister Black, basically NXT Black and Gold brand. Most of them are over there. So of course I watch it. But the question would be, why did they post this? Now, yes, these are EVPs, the Young Bucks, but Tony Khan's the boss, so they had to run it by Tony Khan. We already had word that they were going to cut out some stuff and show certain things. And they've obviously worked it into an angle and to a storyline. So the people who don't watch AEW, the storyline is between FTR and the Young Bucks. The last time they fought each other in the championship match was at AEW All In. And Young Bucks are trying to say, obviously, FTR were with CM Punk before he left. And they're saying that the distraction of what happened backstage the distraction of them having to do their job as an EVP instead of doing their job as a wrestler, being able to meditate and prepare and pray before a match, cost them their preparation, which cost them the match. And that FTR should watch what kind of people they hang around with. Did they mention CM Punk on? They didn't mention his name, obviously, but they did in the video, and that's what they were talking about. Do I think it's a good angle? I think the angle's poor. It was in August last year. Nobody cares anymore. Like nobody cares about that as an angle. Also, the biggest WrestleMania just happened not even a full week ago. You want to be doing all you can as an AEW, someone on the roster, the cameraman, the audio man, anyone, the producer, the director, head of audio, head of visuals, head of cinematics, the flipping car park attendant. You want to do all you can to not shed any more light on WWE. They don't need any more light. Cody Rhodes has been doing Cody Rhodes stuff. The Rock, the final boss, Roman Reigns. You don't want that smoke. Leave it alone. There's space for both companies. TNA don't mention WWE all the time, but it's a constant theme with AEW. I can tell you AEW's method. I can tell you Tony Khan's method. WWE release somebody or somebody leaves. Could be for any reason. Yeah. Instantly, Tony Khan's interested. For some reason, he's interested in everyone. It's not a good idea because now his roster's too big. And now you've got great talent who don't even get showcased, i.e., somebody tell me what Soraya's doing. Nothing. So, I mean, you got Edge over there, and, you know, your viewers ain't viewing. So don't showcase that, but he signs somebody. He announces that there's going to be a surprise. He calls that person the best wrestler in the world, even though he's just called the last person the best wrestler in the world. He makes a regular Dynamite and gives it another name, i.e., Big Business. He brings that person in, and that person has a promo. And then the person's promo, they will mention something to do with WWE in there in some kind of fashion, whether it's throwing subliminal shots, throwing direct shots. They will throw him under and it's pointless because casual viewers don't watch AEW. That's not an opinion. I don't at this point. It's damn near a fact. Just by the viewers. I mean, let me tell you the TV ratings for Dynamite, and I don't even care about this stuff, but this is over the last week. So I'll leave out WrestleMania. So NXT, 647,000 people watched NXT. That's developmental. AEW Collision, 463,000. It's 200,000 less than NXT. AEW Rampage is half of that, 267,000. AEW Dynamite, which is the brand, it's there Monday Night Raw, 752,000. So not touching a million. Raw and SmackDown, 2.3 million, which is the Raw after Mania, so that's fine. SmackDown, 2.6 million. Raw before that, 1.7, and the SmackDown before that, 2 million. As you can see, they are all regular, diehard, niche audience. Us, basically. Us. People already in the wrestling community. People who have never veered away from the product. Not people who they grew up on their ruthless aggression and they got bored of what Vince or whoever was doing, went away for a bit and then said, oh, Edge is over there. Let me check Edge out. It's not those people. Those people don't come around very often. In fact, the last time their highest rating was CM Punk, which was I don't know if it was the final dance, last dance, both times when he come back. So do you really want to be mentioning or showing or shedding light on CM Punk in this video from last year, which nobody cares about anymore, while he's on WWE TV? Because we can, take a shot in the dark at a few things that might happen. You turn it on, you see this promo, you don't know what the fuck's going on. They show the video, you think it's not real for a start because you're a casual. If this is what happens, then people go, "Who's that in the video?" Ah, Samoa Joe, because they can recognize him. Who's that guy with the hair? I don't know, this Jungle Boy guy. All right, yeah, Jack Perry. Who's Jack Perry? That's what casual fans are gonna ask. You know how you're gonna have to explain who Jack Perry is? You're gonna have to tell them who his dad is. Oh no, you know about Luke Perry, the one who died, who used to be 90210. It's his son, you know. Oh, I swear down. That wouldn't make you watch it in the first place. Who's that? Looks a bit like CM Punk. That is it. Is CM Punk? CM Punk's back in wrestling. CM Punk's back in wrestling. All right, okay, I'll watch this. No, he's not going to be on the show. He doesn't work for AEW anymore. He's in WWE. So why is he on video? Just the angle. So where is he? WWE. Yeah. Turn it off. Turn it off. I'll wait for SmackDown. I'll wait for Raw. That's what the casual viewers are gonna do. Ain't nobody gonna give a shit about this. Why would you shed light on it? And it's a constant thing, man. Every time a member of AEW mentions WWE, just makes you gonna want to go watch WWE and see what they're saying. Every time someone mentions, this will, even Edge last week, like Tony Khan basically doesn't do anything for himself. He just sends people out to I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. The man's a great businessman. I think I like him. He's decent. I don't know the person. He obviously doesn't care about. He cares about the wrestling business, but he doesn't care about it in TV wise. He just wants to see great wrestling. But realistically, that's not really pro wrestling. Pro wrestling is storylines. Pro wrestling is stories and cinematic stuff and angles to take you away from your regular day life. Because if I wanted to just see only wrestling, you just watch UFC, which is what I do anyway when I want to see real stuff. When I want to see no story, and I just want to see someone get their head kicked off, which could last 10 seconds, or it could last the whole 25. So he seems to have this issue. I don't know if he's a bit insecure about AEW compared to WWE, but I'm here to tell you, Tony, there's nothing to be insecure about. As I said, WWE have 50-year head start on you. Like, you're not going to catch up. 50-year head start globally, everywhere. I seen Sasha Banks Sasha Banks, Mercedes Moné, on her debut, she said AEW is going to make women's wrestling global for the first time. Women's wrestling global? Do you not know that, like, I don't have to do this, but Money in the Bank was in England. Raw's in Montreal. Backlash is in France. Bash at Berlin is in Germany. Beast in the East was in Japan. They had the India Superstar event. They got Saudi Arabia. I don't know what you mean by that, but I think wrestling's already global. I think Tony needs an advisor. You know how Donald Trump needed an advisor? Because sometimes you're going to say wayward stuff. But Tony needs an advisor to tell him, you just deal with the backroom business stuff. Anything in front of the camera, allow it. Anything to do with social media, allow it. Don't touch it, turn it off. Don't have anything to do with it. Because I promise, I've seen Tony Khan respond to regular, everyday fans, bro, on Twitter over somebody saying something negative over AEW. And I'm talking about people with 2 followers. Not that I care about numbers, but that's how insecure he is, that even one person, all the millions, well, thousands, hundreds of thousands of people saying great stuff about AEW. He's like a teenager. He's just insecure about everything. Nothing to be insecure about. And if you are insecure, don't take it on everyone else. Make your product better, in it. Because everyone thrives. We as wrestling fans thrive. Because if your product's better, you become competition to WWE. If you become competition to WWE has to step up their game, make their product better. Which, don't get me wrong, that's probably what's been in Triple H's head since he's took over properly as well. Not that he's threatened by AEW, but it's probably like, listen, I need to make sure that I stay on my A game, because if we fall apart, somebody runs over to AEW to watch, and then some of the bigger wrestlers go over there. AEW getting Edge should have been a huge thing. It really wasn't. It really wasn't. So he's got to stop that. And when it comes to running a business, a wrestling business with obviously very strong people around, the people that you might be intimidated of, stop it, bro. You're the boss. You can sack them. Like, stop sending other wrestlers out to address stuff that you don't want to address. This thing, all in thing, happened not because of Jack Perry only, not because of CM Punk only, even though they are grown men and should be responsible. It's because of you, Tony. Because of your incompetence to just do what he told you to do, bro. If CM Punk said, I don't like that the guy threw a shot at me on live TV, can you go sort it? And you're saying, well, what do you want me to do? CM Punk goes, well, I have to do it myself then. And then that's the result of it. And speaking of that, insecure Tony not handling what CM Punk asked him to handle, what else happens? This on the same show. Now, again, if you're a casual watching my channel, some do, you won't know who Will Ospreay is. If you're part of the WWE audience, what has mixed of niche audience with casuals, you might not know who Will Ospreay is. Will Ospreay, one of the greatest wrestlers around in the ring. Not the pro wrestling that we love in terms of storylines, but in the ring. Let's not overgas it. Ricochet in it. If that's the example I'll give you to who he is Ricochet. In fact, him and Ricochet have a niche audience classic. If you'd see it, I think it was in New Japan at the time. There's one when they do all the flips and they do the superhero stuff. It's cool as hell. But he came on the show and he threw shots at Triple H. Now, his problem was, I watched this show as well, the Pat McAfee show with Triple H on it. Pat McAfee was talking about up and coming talent and talent from around the world, and what WWE see in talent and what do people need to do if they want to be part of WWE. Triple H basically said, listen, I see people on the rise or people who are at the start of their career, and then they don't come to WWE, and their reasoning for it is they didn't want to do the grind. They didn't want to, they couldn't handle the being on the road all the time, the grind and stuff. And Triple H basically saying like, well, we don't want you then. You're not WWE material, because if you can't do that, bearing in mind he said at the beginning of their career, if you can't do that in the infancy stage, then we don't want you, because it's only going to get worse. And it's a fact. That's not even just WWE. That's not just wrestling. That's everything. It's like being a content creator. You know how many videos I've got on this channel? I've got over 1,000 videos. Over 1,000. Do I make less videos now? I make less videos now. Can I afford to make less videos now? Yeah. Because of the grind in the beginning. Because of the years. You know what I'm saying? Because of not being monetized for however long and just doing it for the fun of it and putting in the hard work and doing all the editing for the fun of it. So if you're at the beginning of your career, of course it's always harder. Of course it is. But that's, you could do the opposing argument to say, because I know people talk about Roman Reigns, and bear in mind, Triple H did not mention Will Ospreay, by the way. Take Will Ospreay, because in this promo he says, "Oh, you don't know about the grind, bruv. I fly from here. I'm the only person who flies in from England to AEW on 10-hour flight and have to fly back." Well, first of all, you don't have to. That's your choice. Second of all, you're an idiot, because you just flew in to do a 2-minute promo just to talk about Triple H. So you're an idiot for that anyway. And he said Triple H don't know about the grind. Triple H is in his 50s, bruv. Do you not know the stories? Listen, I'm not even going to insult Will Ospreay. He definitely knows the stories. But I was thinking the whole time, I wonder if, did Tony okay this? Then you see the reports. Yeah, well, yeah. Will Ospreay asked if this was okay with Tony, and Tony said, yeah, it was cool to go out there and do that. So it's okay. So Tony has an issue. I'm wondering, does Tony have the issue with Triple H throwing shots, what he thinks through his shots? And he sends Will Ospreay out to do that, because apparently it wasn't just his words. The promo was not even long. What do you mean it wasn't his words? He said, "What do you know about the grind, bruv?" Says the man who's only in his position because he was grinding on the boss's daughter. The boss's daughter being Stephanie McMahon, and the boss being Vince. I don't know if it's kind of disrespectful, isn't it? In fact, it's not kind of disrespectful. It's very disrespectful. Not to mention that he was being interviewed by Renee at the time, who's friends with Stephanie and was part of the Women's Revolution. It don't sound the best either. It doesn't sound the best, because you're basically saying sleeping to get ahead in it, which is what we're trying to get away from. I'm not throwing out Will Ospreay. I really like him. In fact, when I watched him at All In against Jericho, great match. But it's a bit pathetic. It's not a bit. It's a lot pathetic. It's silly. And again, as with the Young Bucks, you are causing more people to go, what is this Will guy talking about? The boss, is he talking about Triple H? Is Triple H still wrestling? Let me go and check. Let me go and check WWE and see if Triple H is still there. Then they turn it over to go, oh, it's Triple H. He's got no hair. What's he doing? He's the boss. He's the boss. Clearly, if you were sleeping with the boss's daughter to get ahead, probably wouldn't be with the boss's daughter anymore, innit? I mean, if it was just all for the work and the business, you probably wouldn't want to get that money to spend the money on the same family and have all those kids together. I mean, they've been together since the year, I think they were dating in the year 2000. We're in 2024. You can do the maths. They've been together a very long time. Clearly, it's love, innit? Also, do you think Triple H has not heard that before? Will Ospreay is 30 years old. I'm 34. That means Will Ospreay was 10 years old. 10 years old? 10 years old when Stephanie... No, he wasn't. He was 6. He was 6 or 7, if you want to. He was 7 years old when they got together. You think in this time that Triple H hasn't heard that from probably his friends, people in the business at the same time? I bet you he's just going to laugh at this. But again, it points back to Tony. Big up to everyone in the chat, by the way. I will get to your comments. What I'll do is I'll just carry on talking and I'll just run through your comments only at the end and your questions, so get them loaded. And then I'll jump out after that. Tony, you need help, bro. I mean it in the nicest possible way, because I have to be honest. I was honest about WWE when it wasn't doing too well, when we were slugging through them shit Monday Night Raws. And you know I'm honest about it. Go back through the video, just click on the live tab and go to all my Raw reviews and just look at the thumbnail. This Raw doesn't make much sense. Because I'll just call out what I see. I'm not a negative guy. Like I really, I mean, you could argue no one on here has ever heard me say anything personal about anyone. I love all these wrestlers, man. Like I really do. Some of them don't even do anything. They're in catering, but I like their personality, or I see them in the documentary, or they seem fun. So I know it's not all their fault with certain things and that, but I'm gonna call stuff out when I can call it out. You know what I mean? I'm not sitting on the fence with it. This is and Tony, you've got an issue, bro, because CM Punk said to you, go and sort that. Go and sort that. He didn't sort it. It ended in altercation. Now you see this thing. Will Ospreay talks. Everyone, you're not getting the viewers to be able to do this. Now, Tony, you probably don't care about the casual fans. I think I've gathered that by now. I think I've gathered that by now. Will All In sell out 80,000 again? When probably not. And if it does, I wouldn't be surprised if he paid for some of the tickets himself. Remember, I was there live in the flesh. I loved it. Big atmosphere. But all I could think of when I was there is WWE done messed up here. Should have had this arena. How has AEW not kicked on since All In? You've lost Sting since then. There's been weird Jericho allegations since then. You've had weird injuries since then. Adam Cole and MJF are not on TV. Like, what all they've added since then is Edge, which hasn't changed anything apart from the legend that I saw in WWE. He's just in AEW now. And you've added Will Ospreay, who was, you said he was this big thing, and he was already there. He was at All In. I watched him. You've added Okada. Trash. Not him, but the way they added him, it was terrible. The whole time I'm like, Rainmaker coming. Oh my god, I can't wait for this. Do you know how he debuted? He just ran out in a shirt and trousers and joined the Young Bucks. Wow, okay. Mercedes is coming, big business. She came in. She did this with her hands loads of times. She twerked a lot. She done the hand signal. Did the boss rings. She's threw shots at WWE. Said that was going to make women's wrestling global, even though it's been global the whole time. And I've just seen her have interviews since. Like, nothing's more underwhelming than that company. In fact, they just big stuff up for the pop on the night And then when the night's done, nothing. Nothing. All the wrestlers' biggest moments are their debut. How can that be, bruv? How can that be? On the back of WrestleMania, you release the all-in footage. When I mean on the back of WrestleMania, it's Thursday. Dynamite was yesterday, Wednesday. WrestleMania finished on Sunday. It's 3 days. What? That's how you combat Raw. Oh, The Rock's leaving. Let's get the video out. Come on, man. Do better. You know what you should have done? Should have just throw on a great show. Don't mention WWE. Don't make any things to WrestleMania. Just throw on a great show with great story. Use all your biggest talent and get on with the year. Samoa Joe versus Dustin is what I watched last night. I see there was no reason for Dustin to have a title shot, by the way. And this is what I mean about it being insecure. It's damn near like Tony saw that, oh, you got Cody Rhodes in the main event. All right, I'm going to see you and I'm going to raise you one. I'm going to put Dustin in there. Dustin. Not Goldust. Dustin. I watched man Irish whip Dustin into the ropes. He took 5 minutes to get to Samoa Joe. Not to mention Samoa Joe bust his head open and he had a hole in it and he's pouring the blood. When you've got like Samoa Joe, Hangman Page, and Swerve in a great story, showcase that. You don't have MJF on the TV anymore and the ratings suck. As soon as MJF's been, oh my God, do I have to do it again? Your average is 7.5. 7.5 is your average. WWE Raw was just 2.6. NXT is on 6.4. That is not, NXT is catching up again. And it's not even black and gold, it's the rainbow brand. Luckily for you guys, I just lost Bron Breakker. Maybe that will help you out a little bit. And I'm sorry, man. Like, people know you think I'm joking? I've got my AEW all-in tickets already for this year. I brought them the day it came out, in the morning, woke up, waited in the queue, got paid for the tickets, give it to my son for his birthday. Happy days, great stuff. All I can think of is like, I'm gonna go, I'm gonna have fun, but you know, if the product keeps carrying on like this, I probably won't try and do it again. And tickets stay cheap, it'll be a nice day out, but that's all it is. I literally go to these things because the wrestlers are getting older, innit? Jericho's getting older, Sting was getting over. Like I got to watch me and my son got to sit down and watch Sting. My son was born in 2008. These are why I do these things, because it's cool to watch it together, innit? I want to see a Hardys. When I was in WWE, we got to see Kurt Angle in the Shield. I want to see these things, bro. But at some point, you have to move on and showcase the young talent you've got. Because at the moment, Swerve Joe, Edge, Christian's your best heel. Tony Storm, Daniel Bryan's wrestling matches, but no stories. That's what they've got at the moment. Everything else around it is just around it. House of Black, don't want to do anything with them properly. Trash. So that's great for me. You took Paige. I thought you saved Paige. You know, she was my favorite. She's just about. Moxley, about. What? Come on, man. Do better, bro. It's actually, at this point, it's just annoying. And it's just like, if you can't manage the company, don't be insecure about it. Don't worry about it, bro. Like, delegating it, that's probably what you're great at. You mean you run Fulham Football Club and the team's doing all right, but you know why? Because you don't handle the day-to-day stuff on the football pitch, do you? Clearly not. Because you're not a footballer. You know what else you're not? You're not a wrestling booker, bro. You're not, bro. You're a businessman. Val says, where's Miro? Where's Keith Lee? Exactly, bro. Keith Lee just keeps having injuries and like sometimes, bro, get another wrestling brain in, bro. Since you're always taking WWE people, I'm sure Kevin Dunn and all these people who, you know, try to escape the Vince thing, just get them in. Sucks, bro. I actually say this through caring because I want the business to do well. But when somebody has so much money, when their dad has so much money as well, I mean, think of something that you like in life, innit? You know what I like? I like movies. I'm a movie guy. I have Hugo online. Go subscribe to that channel as well. I'm really good at creative writing. I'm really good at it. I don't know if I'm good at directing. Don't think I am. Not trained in it. Don't know if I'm good at producing. Not trained in it. I can pick out stuff in any movie and tell you what needs to be better. So whatever that job is, I can do that. I go, no, that doesn't make sense because you need to do this and that. If my dad was a billionaire, it's the equivalent to me going, you know what? I'm gonna buy a movie production studio, man. Oh, okay, that's great. But what are you gonna employ all these people? Yeah, I'm gonna employ them all, but I'm gonna run the day-to-day stuff. Oh, you what you trained in? Nothing. There's someone running the day-to-day stuff. You ever booked a you ever put a movie together? No, but I'm just gonna run it. Okay, well, your movies are they're kind of geared towards like the artsy people. Like, not you're gonna see it at Cannes Festival. It's not gonna be global. Yeah, but I love it. Yeah, but it's not really doing much. It's just a movie. It's not. There's nothing intriguing. Yeah, but it's going on Netflix, so I love it. That's the equivalent. What's going on? Is the equivalent. I can play football. I can coach football. Can I manage a football club? A whole club? No. It's the equivalent, man. It stinks, bro. In fact, if I'm correct, at the beginning of this year, I think it was last year actually. I think everyone knows the actor Freddie Prinze Jr. If you don't know him, remember the Scooby Doo movie? He played Fred in it. He played Fred? I think he played Fred. Freddie Prinze Jr. He was in WCW as well. Obviously, he was an actor who went into WCW as like a gimmick kind of thing. He's starting a wrestling company. He knows more than Tony Khan. Tony Khan's just a fan. It's just one of us. It's the same as like Booker T has a wrestling school, Reality of Wrestling. He does really well. He knows the business inside out. He books it on a lower level, and he's in that company where he has I think he's got a 500-seater stadium just moved. He books stuff properly there with great stories and stuff. But Tony, with all the money and all the camera work and all that stuff, can't. And don't get me wrong, we've seen great stuff in AEW, which makes it worse because it's like, why are you just ignoring it? I saw the Sting storyline, the Vanguard one, Matt Hardy storyline, like some great stuff, man. But just do better, bro. It sucks. It sucks, man. And we have to draw a line and use not just talking about WWE. It used to be because you were just getting on my nerves. It sounds salty, and if it all goes wrong in AEW for one of them wrestlers, they're gonna end up back at WWE, or they're gonna end up on OnlyFans or Twitch. So that's basically what's gonna happen. So I don't want it. But now it's annoying because it's just stupid. It's just stupid. What? I can't even imagine just talking about. You're not even talking about rubbish people. You're just talking about the biggest of wrestlers, the highest of levels, and he's CM Punk, yeah, let's go watch it. It's the same what they did. Remember the thing they did not long ago with Jinder Mahal? Tony Khan online, he brought up Jinder Mahal for no reason because Jinder had that title shot against, I think was it against Seth or somebody like that, and he brought it up because he was like something. Hook's got this clean record, and I'm like, record? It's predetermined, you idiot. That record's you put it together. That's like Goldberg's 175 person record. What are you talking about? So he tried to throw Jinder Mahal on the bus for no reason, by the way. Jinder didn't mention him at all. And that started whatever. When we got when Undertaker went down to NXT, remember that? Undertaker and John Cena. He brought that up as well. Well, yeah, you got Undertaker on NXT and you didn't even draw 1.5 million. So who cares? Oh no, man. Anyway, in other news, we knew this already, but they confirmed it properly now. SummerSlam, Cleveland, big business, Cleveland, Ohio. I'm sure that Logan Paul and The Miz will have something to do with this because Logan Paul and The Miz are from Cleveland. Nothing else to say about it. SummerSlam business. Anyway, let's get to the comment section. I'm gonna go through your comments, people. If it's just a regular comment, I'll leave it. But I'll try and get through everything and then we'll get out of here. Sorry for the cold open, man. But as I said, I know a lot of you came in here late. But as I said, I just put the video together because I was saying at the beginning of the video, A lot of these wrestling things I don't care about. I really don't care about, by the way. I couldn't give a shit that CM Punk he pushed somebody in the chest and put him in a headlock for 6 seconds, bruv. Maybe a little bit longer. I couldn't give a shit. They're grown men. Clearly nobody got harmed in the making of the video. You know that. So who cares, man? Jack Perry definitely not losing sleep over getting pushed in the chest. He would have took a harder slap in the ring. Kayfabe. So don't worry about the minute. CM Punk doesn't care anymore. He's moved on. He didn't. That's why Ariel Hawani had to ask him about it, because he didn't just come out and speak about it. And Jack Perry don't even like AEW. That's why he's in New Japan. Anyway, big up to everyone in the chat. I'll start with Thomas here. I want both companies to do well. Same. But ultimately, when AEW crowds are chanting the name of a wrestler not on the contract, what are we doing? Yeah, they started chanting CM Punk, and then there was like one guy saying CM Punk sucks, but all right. Come on, Tariq. Yeet. He was CM Punk yelling the truth. You see, there was no point. Exactly my point at the beginning of this video. The only time you'd show that footage is if CM Punk's lies was causing problems to AEW, and it was slandering people's names. The fact that he just told the truth, he wasn't even rude about Jack Perry. He said, I went over there to speak to him politely. He was in my space, and I can't have someone in my space, so I pushed him and put him in a bit of a headlock. Literally, CM Punk hasn't seen the footage since it happened, and he remembered it exactly how it happened. It's fine. Big up, Anna. The constant drives at WWE on AEW shows is getting stupid. Stop looking over the fence and complaining what's going on over there, and concentrate on your own yard. It does make him sound. He's insecure, because what Tony's got is, I don't think he's jealous of what's going on at WWE, like in terms of the product, because I don't think that's his style of wrestling anymore. He likes indie style wrestling, which is fine. What he's jealous of is the adulation that people give WWE, because in his head he's like, well, that's not even proper wrestling. That's not even how you do it. But it's not just, it's fine, bro. Like, there's a reason Beyonce doesn't complain about the adulation Rihanna gets, bro. They're not the same. They're not the same. Did anyone ever see Michael Jackson moan about George Michael? Did anyone want to see George Michael moan about Freddie Mercury? No. You know why? All great musicians, all different genres of music, different styles. Guess what? You can do as a fan, though. You can listen to them all. Savage playlist. We got them all, like that. Let's get it. Right. First, Punk situation should have been solved with after the first issue with Box. Kenny, Tony Khan was complacent, led to the second issue. Yeah, I forgot about the first. And then the first issue, I'll take, because first issue had Thingy in it. His dog, Larry. Heard that Larry stood up still. Big up Larry. This is just karma for the insults. Yeah. Triple H, yeah, because to be fair, like when they were throwing insults in the beginning, WWE wasn't doing the best. And there was a little period where AEW wasn't better than WWE, but they were pouring on really good matches. That's what it is, man. Triple H was already in DX and was on top card when he got exactly. He was still on the road doing full loops, house shows. Triple H wasn't behind the desk as soon as he got with. Exactly. And seemingly, and it's not my words, Triple H was the model professional in terms of behind the scenes, because apart from the old golden shovel stuff, what people name at him and John Cena, he was not the everyone else was taking drugs and drinking and that. No, he was the driver for DX. He seemed to, and he actually loves the business. And he loves Stephanie, man. Come on, man. Like, lies are revealed after a certain amount of time, but trust me, 24 years and I think they would have found out. How did you try and raise the ratings last night show by announcing the CCTV footage and have a mediocre cardage? Surely that's your time to put on if I would have, the way the Young Bucks sat down to play the video, I would have sat there, and I promise this is what I thought was going to happen. This is why I didn't watch it live. I really assumed that when they pressed the camera on, the Young Bucks they had reenacted what happened. Like a skit. We've seen that before in WWE when they're like, we have to show. Remember when The Rock did it when he was like, rolled the camera and he was like, I thought it was going to be one of those ones where it was a skit of what happened, not that it was going to be the real footage. How have we ever seen this? Have we ever seen this ever? Used, and the funniest thing is using it in an angle where the main people from the video, which is two people, by the way, are not there. They're not. FTR's not in the video. Young Bucks ain't in the video. Jack Perry's in New Japan and CM Punk's in WWE. That means you should have left it alone. Should have known this because when CM Punk done the interview the other day with Ariel Helwani, I didn't see Jack Perry say anything. You know why? Because it was true. Also, the women's roster just seems to have turned into a second four of Tony Khan apart from Tony Storm. Yep, I agree. Let's be honest, man. Britt Baker, at one point, you had her mixed in with the WWE girls in terms of when you got the top card, she's mixed right in there. She's great. No, they've been messing with the division for a long time. You know, listen, Jay Cargill is here, bro, in WWE. Why? No, I don't need to answer that. You can tell, innit? She said on Busted Open Radio before WrestleMania, she said, I love Tony Khan. I love the AEW. I had loads of fun over there. She said, I think she said I'm 31 or 30. And she said, I don't have the time. They're an up-and-coming company. I don't have the time to rate stuff to wait for them to get stuff right. This is where it's at. They've got WrestleMania and that. Makes perfect sense because it's going to seem like you're going to be waiting a long time, innit? So, yeah, I answered this already, but again, Keith Lee, WWE should have done better with him in the first place, to be honest. 100% agree with that. He was great in NXT, though. And he was great in the Survivor Series match and stuff. Vince messed up with the Bearcat Lee stuff. Should have sorted that out. But Miro, Rusev was great in WWE. And he was great in AEW. At the beginning, the Redeemer Miro. It was amazing. Ruined him. TK the Billionaire has had his feathers ruffled by an ex-employee. Let that sink in. Wrestling companies have incidents between talent every day, but they don't air their dirty laundry out in public. There's a reason why we never saw Jericho trying to fight Brock, innit? We never saw Booker T versus Batista. We heard the stories because obviously people leak stuff. But if you don't say anything and you don't do anything, it quickly goes away. This was so... First of all, AEW couldn't have won. Once they decided they were going to put this footage out, it was going to be disappointed in some way because I see loads of people on the internet disappointed with the footage. The reason I'm like, you're disappointed with footage that's real footage. That's like, you know, when you watch a movie, not a movie, you watch a movie based on a true story, and they don't try and like dramatize anything. The movie's going to be boring. You have to take it for what it is. That's what this is. So if you already know what's going to go on, or you already know the story, don't watch that documentary, don't watch that movie. How can you be disappointed with it? AEW always going to lose? Because you built it up to be this thing like, oh my God, CM Punk's lying. Wait till we show you this footage. I can only reiterate again. It was a talk. It was a regular conversation. The conversation in the beginning looked so comfortable. It looked like there was two homies talking. CM Punk pushed Jack Perry in the chest. He flew back. He tried to go back into CM Punk. CM Punk grabbed him in a headlock. It lasted about 6-7 seconds. Samoa Joe, he's a big guy, pulled him away. Done. It was over. That's what you waited for. People, I wonder who did anyone pay for Dynamite. It's going to be interesting. The ratings ain't out yet. I'm going to be interested to see the ratings on this show, if it worked. And if it did work, well done to you on it. But just know that whoever watched that definitely probably spiked WWE's ratings as well. The only reason Tony brings a lot of these people in so WWE can't have them most of the time on the day the Papa made. Yeah, I agree. And this is what Vince was doing. So if you remember when AEW were 2 years in, remember Vince was just buying up all the talent. Like we were just getting new people in WWE all the time, just for the sake of it, seemingly. And then every time we got to April, we had to get rid of like 60 of them because you're just buying talent to get them away. But now, then you'll see like, what's the point? Because quality over quantity, innit? I think WWE's probably still got too many people. And you lot don't have to agree with me, but what I will say to you is, don't look at WrestleMania. Look at the people that were missing from WrestleMania and tell me if WWE probably still has a lot. Because they put a Battle Royal together on SmackDown before Mania. Bronson Reed won. Everyone in that Battle Royal, if I'm correct, didn't have a part to play in WrestleMania. and there was loads of tag teams there, and so and then you had Liv wasn't on the card, Raquel wasn't on the card, Shayna Baszler wasn't on the card, Doudrop wasn't on the card, Nikki Cross wasn't on the card, Chelsea Green not on the card either. I mean, we can keep going. Ivan R wasn't on the card. Maxine Dupree wasn't on the card. I can keep going. Then that's only the women, and then the men from the tag team battle royal, and we can keep going. So I think WWE's already got too many people on the roster. But guess what? WWE has Raw, SmackDown, NXT. They have house shows every single day. They have overseas tours. They have all these. They have the Make-A-Wish Foundation, these schools to go and see. They got India, they got Saudi Arabia, they got. So you get what I'm saying, and at least they can use their people sparingly and send them different places. It's kind of pathetic, man. I can't even. But yeah, you're right. The pop's not worth it in AEW. It's not worth it. And I have to reiterate, I like it in it, but it's not worth it, man. It's not worth it. If I ask all of you like now who AEW's biggest star is, I'm going to tell you one thing. He ain't on the roster at the moment. People from WWE that don't watch AEW, I tell you, if you ask them who they like, apart from the people that are already their friends, you know, the people that they already like Edge. Of course you like Edge. You like Daniel Bryan, duh. You like Moxley, duh. But I'm on about from the AEW brand, all these are going to say MJF. Tony Storm now. Tony Storm's great. That's one person they've done stuff right with. But she had to make that character on her own anyway. So, you see where I'm going with this, innit? I still can't believe like they've done the build-up for Okada and nothing happened, bro. Crazy. Who did they have on there last week for a pop? Because it happens every week, by the way. Oh, Matt Cardona. Woo. That's what the pop was last week. The pop before that was Edge. He had a weapon. It couldn't be funny enough that the people that are doing great work over there are WWE talent with legends, Christian and Edge and Christian, Daniel Bryan, Samoa Joe, Swerve, Tony Storm. You can't make this shit up, bro. You can't make this shit up. Because they know they come from the team. They know what to do. Shit, man. It's not that hard, man. It's not that hard. Yeah. Time to rest in that. Yep, I agree. You have to command a certain type of respect. And clearly, because they asked Cody, and Cody said Punk's reality of what he had with Tony is not my reality. Of course it's not. Because I'm not disputing whether Tony Khan's a nice guy. He seems like a nice person. I'm not any. CM Punk called him a clown. He didn't call him not a nice person. Because at the end of the day, you've got a business to run, innit? Like, okay, AEW and WWE do press conferences, innit? But when Triple H on the press conference, he comes out, starts talking about the numbers and how much the gate's taking, the money they're taking in, the money they're taking on TV, or say, this person done great tonight and we're trying to do this with the company and we're going to go here. Tony Khan comes out and just, this is Tony Khan's face to the stuff. That's the Tony Khan face. You're just in awe of whatever wrestler he's talking to. And then when they swear, he has this look on his face like, oh, I don't want you to. And he never says anything. He never says anything. He's just, MJF will just say what he wants. MJF throw a glass of water in the little kid's face in the crowd. Tony Khan, yeah. And then he just gets defensive after defensive. You put him on a radio station. Guess what Tony does on radio stations? Guess what Tony does on podcasts? When they ask him about WWE, he goes, I don't want to talk about it. You don't want to talk about it. You could have fooled me, bro. You could have fooled me. But go watch Tony Khan talk about the Jacksonville Jaguars and see how excited he is. And you know why he's that excited? You know why he sounds like he knows what he's talking about? You know why everything makes sense when he talks about the NFL? Because he knows about football. He knows. He knows. When it comes to wrestling, he's one of us. He's just a. I don't want to use the term because it's like being called a muggle in Harry Potter world and that. And you lot know I use the word muggle very much in that. But the wrestling equivalent to muggle is a mark. And that's what he is. To the highest degree. To the highest degree. The ballet dancing matches is Tony Khan's type of pro wrestling. So when they were dissing WWE going, pro wrestling, listen, it was funny because Vince wouldn't allow him to call it pro wrestling. But damn near, for the however long, Vince made the blueprint for what pro wrestling is today. And you just decided to let's do indie wrestling on TV. There's a reason. There's a big reason why independent wrestling is independent. There's a reason for it. Because it's like an everyday house show with super kicks where everyone slaps their legs. And I can see it. I can see it. It's creeping into WWE. It's been creeping. That's why NXT pay-per-views are always great. You know why NXT pay-per-views are always great? Because the wrestling match is going to be dope. But most people don't watch NXT. So they're like, forget the story. I just want to see some great shit. You will see some great shit because they're all indie wrestlers. That's why some of them come up from NXT, they go to the main roster, and they shit the bed. Because, yeah, and I have to say, there's nothing wrong with indie wrestling. I have friends who are independent wrestlers. I've been to shows, but it's a niche audience. It's not for the big time. Bruv, you know what? Don't believe me. Just try to watch an indie show on TV, which kind of are VW, but just go watch it. Just watch like watch Progress, but just watch it on TV. Them shows are made to be there in the crowd. They're made for that. You can reach out and touch the wrestler. They might climb onto the ceiling and do a backflip. They might climb onto the ledge and do a moonsault. I was there before. I was there with the Young Bucks were there. Kenny Omega was there. I was there. Wolverhampton. Like, it's the front flip from there, back flip from there. I loved it. Put that on TV. I'm like, all right. I can see, like, like when a magician does tricks on TV and they're in the dark room. Remember that guy who used to be there with the mask? Yeah, overly produced, done it. And then he would show you how he done it and how did he do it while the camera angle did this and this done that. Okay, that looked dope. You know why he looked dope? Because I didn't see him doing dumb shit. Whereas on now, everyone's just slapping their quads. Let me slap my quad. And you know what else? WWE does this as well. The photographs, the photographer ringside takes great photos. Of course, that photographer wants to take a picture of the finishing move. So if the finishing move is a super kick, on the picture, you just see like grown men slapping their leg. It looks weird as shit. I don't know if anyone's been kicked in the jaw before. I haven't been kicked in the jaw. Listen, I don't have to. I've done stuff. I've had fights in it. You know that big noise that never happens. It's never happened in one of my fights, bro. I've never hit anyone and I've heard a slap. But now it's become conditioning. So now when people hit people and it doesn't make a noise in wrestling, sounds shit. We need to get back to what it was. More comments. Big up to everyone in the chat, man. Love for the love. Sorry for going off, but needed to talk, like that. Big up A and B. Love for the love, man. Been a minute. Hope you guys are well. Tony Khan might be a sleeper agent for WWE because he keeps making them shine. Video release did nothing but back up everything Punk said. Get your house in order, TK. I 100% agree. Okay. I've been speaking of AEW, so I'll get these comments and then one more thing on WWE we need to talk about. To be fair, these days it seems like if they're not using someone in the main roster, they give them something to do on NXT. No, that's what I want. That's what I want them to do. They're doing it a little bit more since Triple H has been in because he doesn't really want people sitting around. So you had Natalia on NXT, but if you can make a story for it, it's fine. If you can't, it's stupid. But I do understand what you're saying. Big up honesty. Hope you're well, bro. AEW looking like a spicy version of TNA. Yeah, don't even get me started on TNA because I used to love it, man. But TNA, I swear they got 12 people in the audience, bro. Like, when you watch TNA, it feels like it's in lockdown still. No disrespect, but that's what it feels like. Okay, I don't have a graphic for this or anything, so I'm just gonna get this on it. All right, nobody argue with me here. You can have your opinion on it. I'll take it. Can we stop the Triple H era thing now? Can we leave the Paul Levesque era thing? Like, it's not real, bro. It's not real. It's not real. How do you create an era for you? And to be fair to Triple H, he said he doesn't like that people are calling it that, even though his wife came out and said it. But I'll give you the reasons why I know they're saying stuff compared to fans. Fans have latched onto it. Oh, it's a Triple H era now. Blah blah blah. Okay, let's be honest. Let's be honest here. What's changed since Triple H took over and Vince got the? Okay, I'll tell you what's changed. Raw got more interesting. It didn't get great. It got interesting. Raw went from 5 out of 10 and 6 out of 10, then it went to 7s, 7.5s, and sometimes 8s, and since The Rock's been back, some 9s and 10s. I mean, the ratings show that as well. Okay, but before The Rock turned up, let's be honest, it was SmackDown what was good. I'm not making that up. Bloodline have been running shit on SmackDown for the last few years. That's why SmackDown, which is supposed to be the B show, the ratings are always higher on SmackDown. So Vince, the Bloodline was on SmackDown while Vince was there. That's not an opinion. That's a fact. I get everyone was excited about WrestleMania. It was fun. We all didn't watch alongs. I watched it. It was incredible. Watched everyone's reactions. Dope. I was so happy for everybody else because we all stood through what we've been in the mud in it. We've been in the mud, but we've stood by the wrestling and said, "No, we believe in you. We know there's talent here. Let's do it." And we stuck by him. And Cody finished his bitch ass story. Oh, whatever, man. But sorry, man. I get touchy in it. Tribal chief and that day one morning. But this Paul Levesque era thing, it's a bit over the top now. And then people go, I don't think you should call it the Paul Levesque era. I think we should find another name for it. Find another name for it. You know that while we was in the Attitude Era, we wasn't like calling it the Attitude Era. We were just watching it. People know that, innit? Like, we wasn't running around like, oh, this is the great Attitude Era. No, we wasn't. It just happened. You just called it the Attitude Era when it started to fade away and was going to something else. You know when Vince came out on SmackDown and he said, I'm looking for something different. I'm looking for something. I need you guys to fight. I need you to grab the ring. I need you to be ruthless. I want ruthless aggression. And then later on in the night, a young John Cena came out, the prototype. He approached Kurt Angle in an open challenge. And then Angle said, what do you have, young man, that everyone else doesn't have? What makes you special? And then John Cena said, ruthless aggression. Now, I know people like to rewrite history, but everyone will have you think that when John Cena said that, the day after, we was like, oh, this ruthless aggression era, this is some good shit. Nobody said that. Nobody called it that. Nobody called it that. Nobody called it that. But when we did call it that, is when it started to shift away from it. Then you go, oh man, I wish we could go. And then you start getting, I wish we could go back to. Then you go, okay, I wish we could go back to the Attitude Era, man. Okay, wish we could go back to the ruthless aggression era. And then, the PG era wasn't called the PG era while we're watching it. It's just that we realized, oh, man ain't swearing no more, man ain't bleeding no more. This is some PG shit, bro. And I know the game's latched onto it and it's putting stuff in order and stuff, but like, how can you take not Triple H, by the way, it's not his fault. How can you give something a moniker, a status like that? It's not kayfabe, by the way. They're doing it seriously. When nothing's happened yet. Not Vince. When did Vince step down? Properly. Because he stepped down, but then everyone was like, no, Vince is still there in gorilla position. It's just, he's not allowed on TV anymore. And remember, Vince came out as like a bad man. He just came out. He had a court case, and then the next day we saw him on SmackDown. No chance. It's not right, bruv. So everyone calm down with this, we need to find a name for it and stuff like that. okay, just relax because you're gonna give it some crazy moniker and that, and the Triple H is gonna do something wrong, and it's gonna, you know what I mean? Because what if, okay, we might, if this is the case, let's just call it the Netflix era, then, because that's where we're gonna go. The TV 14 era. Come on, man. Come on. Big up, bro. You know, I heard that Roman Reigns probably did not lose the Universal Championship. He probably lost the WWE Heavyweight Championship. What? You know, I heard Roman Reigns probably did not lose the Universal Championship. He probably lost it. No, he lost both. It is one belt now. They're not separate like the tag team belts. It's one belt. He lost them. And Triple H is doing very, very great, but a long time ago. That's what Vince has done. Yeah. Raw would be better. Raw would be so much better. Be so much better if it was 2 hours. Paul Era makes it sound like he's gonna the Vince era was of WWE. Yeah, exactly because if you name the after him himself, then that means since Vince has owned the company, it's been the Vince McMahon era, and if that's the case, then that means Vince is the better one, isn't it? Vince, like, let's not pretend. Like, I know people like to rewrite history. Vince hasn't been shit the whole time. It's just that Vince got a bit out of touch with stuff, and some people he was hiring were trash as well. You know what I mean? Tony Khan is making his company look bad. Yeah, I agree. Big up, bro. I agree. It's a bit crazy. But it's good. It's a good time to be a wrestling fan. But I think like everyone's a bit hasty to. We go to too much extremes on it. So I know people have a blue tick on Twitter and that, and they just can say what they want. But yeah, this is better than the Attitude Era. This is blah blah blah. Oh, okay, all right. You know what I mean? And listen to me, innit? I'm not doing the age thing before anyone says anything because obviously there was an era before I was born as well, what I didn't get to see. I can watch it on the WWE Network, which I do, but it's not the same. But some people of a certain age trying to argue about this is better than the Attitude Era. I'm like, well, you didn't really live it, did you? So it's probably not an argument. You could just say this is the best wrestling's ever been to me, and that would be true. If you're 20 years old, this might be the best wrestling's ever been to you. Maybe. Because you grew up with Santino Marella and that running around the ring. So yeah, maybe. But saying it's better than the Attitude Era is kind of crazy. Is it different? Yes, 100% different. Also, from the other side of it, the extremes, the Attitude Era was not perfect. And when I mean it wasn't perfect, I mean it. I'm watching it now. It wasn't perfect. The negative that you have in the Attitude Era, some of these matches now are too long, and there's not enough stories, just loads of adverts. In the Attitude Era, some of these matches were like 1 minute. Like I watched the match. What did I watch? I watched the match on Heat, WWE Heat 1998, 1998, 99. Yeah, and it was the Legion of Doom 2.0. So it was Droz and who was it? Droz and somebody. And the angle was like Animal was on. He was alcoholic or something like that. Crazy, isn't it? We had a tag team match. Bruv, this tag team match, they got in the ring, the bell went, they done a body slam, Animal distracted somebody on the outside, Droz got pinned, it was over with. And it wasn't booked as a squash match. That was the whole match, bro. So it wasn't perfect. Let's not pretend that, like, you know, when you were living it, that you was excited to see Jamie Noble and Nydia versus Funaki. Like it just wasn't a thing. But that was good because the match didn't last too long. There was always a story around it. The one thing I will say about that time was every time somebody came through the curtain, they had something to them in it. Even if they wasn't the main guy on the roster, they had something. So Jamie Noble had Nydia. That was a funny little angle thing. Like it was funny. Trailer Park. You know what I mean? Taka Michinoku, Funaki, them man there, cold. The jury had the mist, and he was with William Regal. In fact, in that heat, William Regal was on there, but he wasn't the one you know now. He was a man's man, Steven Regal, where he used to come out with a hard hat, and his whole thing was like working class. That was his gimmick. The Godfather used to come out with the whole train, bow, 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 holes. You know what I'm saying? They all had something. Crash Holly weighing in at 410 pounds, and he used to come out with scales. Hardcore Holly used to come out kick your ass. Steve Blackman had nunchucks, came to kill somebody. Ken Shamrock was a legit UFC fighter. I can keep going. Big Boss Man. Well, Big Boss Man, let's. You know what I mean? Something about Big Boss Man we don't know. But he went from being a prison officer, then he was a SWAT team member, then he got hung. Also on the episode of I'm killing it, yeah. On the episode of Heat, it was the first time the Brood were together. How about that? That's what I was watching the other day. Because they were coming out separately, and in this match, Edge came out with them, and there's like Michael Cole's there. I was like, oh God, they call themselves the Brood. You know what I mean? Bing, 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 bing. Wow. You know, like that. Doing up that. Come on, man. Sorry about that. Anyway. Savage, before WrestleMania 40, WWE fans, I can't stand Roman. After WrestleMania 40, WWE fans acknowledge the tribal chief. Thank you, Roman. You deserve it. Your time off. You carry WWE. Yeah, I mean, listen. After what match was it? It was after last year's WrestleMania, wasn't it? That's when Roman started taking time off. I mean, you could argue that Roman's time off kind of helped Cody because all the pay-per-views, he kept them away from each other, and Cody really carried it then for the last. I'll be nice to Cody. Let's say April, 4th month, 8 months. I'll say from April to April. You could argue that like Cody carried that shift with Seth, and then obviously Roman had the Roman's stories are still better though. And I'll tell you one thing what's great about Roman. One thing that is great about Roman. Even though the reign was that long, and even though the assumption is, the bloodline's going to come out and help him, I promise, and we know this because you like to do the watch along with me. When you watch it, the match, everyone in the comment section is like, no, I think Roman's going to lose today. I think he's going to lose. Because there was always a story behind it where it made you feel like, no, surely Roman's going to lose. So if it's Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania 39, or surely it's going to be over. Whether it's Drew McIntyre, or it's that Clash of the Castle, of course he's going to win. And it gets close. Remember when we thought Finn Balor was going to beat Roman, then he turned into a fish on the floor, and then the rope snapped. So there was that as well. When Jey Uso fought him, I think everyone thought really like it could be over here. So, I'm actually a bit worried for Cody's title reign. But what Triple H has done is he's invested some time in making certain things great. A lot of it's to do with The Rock as well. But because they've done that, means that going forward, I can go, okay, let me give them time because I know what they can do now. Let me give them a little bit more time and see what happens. And by doing that, hopefully, you know what I mean? Because they can't do what they've been doing with Cody. Otherwise, everyone will get bored of him very quick. So you're just going to throw heels at him that don't have a story. You're going to throw Nakamura at him again. You have to have a story behind what's going on. You know what I mean? So we'll see, man. Edge on the Attitude Era segment were good, but the matches were 3 minutes. Yeah. But all people listen because most of the matches were building up to the main event match. So you'd have, if the tag team titles were being fingered, then the tag team match, the Intercontinental title match, and the WWE Championship match, or anything to do with the champion, would be a bit longer. But remember, Raw was only 2 hours, so to be fair to them, you know what I mean. But it'd go for a break still, but it would go to a segment with Stone Cold backstage and Deborah and stuff. That's why I like what they do with Roman when he's on SmackDown. He wasn't wrestling the whole time, but when he was there, before an advert, they go to the Bloodline in the change room. Later on, back to the Bloodline in the changing room. The final match, Solo versus somebody. Roman's watching the screen. That's all you need to do and record segments, man. W is finally dropped behind the curtains. WrestleMania. Yeah, it's supposed to drop on YouTube. That was the greatest CM Punk footage ever. But why did AEW censor it? I'm lost. What do you mean censor it? I didn't see it censored. I mean, I don't know. I think the footage was trash, bro. It's just pushing the chest and headlock. The new era of fans are taking over now. Like most only started watching wrestling in early 2010 that had to experience 2017 to 2022. So of course they will say this is the best WWE. I'm not. It's not. I don't have a problem when they say this is the best WWE's ever been. It's when they say it's better than this particular thing, calling it out. Because if you was born to a certain time, you'll think that the Premier League's the best it's ever been, and you're allowed to think that. I'm not. I don't have a problem with it. But like, I'm not trying to compare Messi to Maradona because I just didn't witness Maradona like that. He was still playing when I was a kid, when I was like 4. But listen, I wasn't understanding what was going on. Every time I see Maradona stuff back, I'm like, bro, he could do that. But if you're not in the heat of the moment, it's completely different. And I do this to my mom now. I do this to my mom, my dad, my cousins. Sometimes I watch a movie, and I'm a movie guy in it. But sometimes I watch a movie, I get taken out of it straight away because the graphics are terrible. But then I'm like, well, you have to have lived it though, innit? When Jaws came out, I wasn't born. And to everybody at the time, the shark looked real. Fucking hell. Jaws shark. And as a kid, when I saw Jaws, shark looked real. Watch Jaws now. I'm like, oh shit. Oh, you know, I watched not long ago, me and my son. And my son's an actor in it, but he's 15. We watched King Kong, the original King Kong, not Percy Jackson, the King Kong from like 1940 something. Bro, these graphics are the worst graphics I've ever seen, blood. But then I have to take myself out of it, stop being rude, stop being ignorant. It's the 40s, bro. What are you expecting? For these times, the technology that I'm thinking of wasn't even invented. So to them, it's incredible. And that's what happens with the horror movies. That you watch it now, the blood doesn't look real, it's safe, but it was great. And then I have to check, and we all have to check ourselves sometimes because I'm still young, I think. You know what I mean? I don't even really believe in age like that. You take care of yourself. You can feel young as long as you want. You're just more experienced. But I'm only 19 years older than my son, I think. 18 years older than my son, something like that. I'm 34, my son's 15. So in my head, everything's fresh, bro. So he's great. He's growing up in a nice era, but because I like old stuff, some movies I watch and my son loves it, and it's from the 70s, watch Warriors and stuff like that, loves it. Rocky, love it. Best. But some things, this is the weird one, games. So I was trying to download San Andreas on the Xbox the other day. San Andreas, GTA, one of the best storylines in the game you'll ever see. When I turned it on the other day, even me, who witnessed it, I was watching. I'm like, nah, these graphics ain't it, boy. Like the player, the characters, they ain't got no fingers. The walking funny. Their faces are all squared and blocked off and that. But for the time, I played True Crime Streets of LA the other day. Graphics are good for the time. So that's what I'm saying, man. Interesting. Also, I beg Triple H either let wrestlers have more say over the music or bring back CFO Jim Johnston. He doesn't want to. Yeah, he doesn't want to return. I think. See, this is where we have to be careful in it, Alexander, because I think Triple H is giving them more. So now I'm gonna be looking at in particular. I'm gonna start lowering the reins a little bit, and stop blaming all the staff. Because remember, we went through that thing with the writing staff, and this person doesn't even watch wrestling. I'm gonna lighten it a little bit now, and we're really gonna see if the wrestlers can hang. Because some of the wrestlers, you can tell that they speak for themselves now, innit? Some of them speaking for themselves isn't a good idea. Some of them need to speak for themselves, but have structure to it. Somebody like Rhea Ripley should speak for herself, but she needs structure. So you can't just go off the rails and say anything. But these are the bullet points. Talk about mommy's on top. Talk about this. Talk about this, and then you can say what you want. Whereas what was happening before is word for word, you could see that they were saying like what was being say this, and you already know suffering succotash on it. Just checked you page strange. Then that's very strange. Will Sullivan now lead a bloodline since Roman? I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing what happens, but I'll be honest, bro. And obviously, I'm the bloodline guy. Solo has lost. I mean, luckily for Solo, the Raw before Mania, the match went down as a no contest because Solo lost 36 matches in a row, 37 matches, I think it is, in a row. He beat John Cena up at Saudi Arabia, and he hasn't won a match since. So, but I think that's going to be the good story going forward. But I actually think that Roman ain't going to have as much time off as everyone thinks. You know, he posted on Instagram already. What did he post? He posted day one. Yesterday I mourned. Today's day one, and then he was on the treadmill. So, I'm catching up. What's up? So big up, Tim. Hope you're well, bro. You know, just chopping the regular stuff, bro. My thoughts last night. AW non-stop shots at WWE. Suicide. 2 nights ago, we got Douglas and Nakamura. Tyler won that 2 years ago. Yeah, but I'm actually disappointed with that match, man. Not the wrestling itself, but you've kind of like you don't put Dragunov straight on the main roster without a build-up, without vignettes, because we know that the presence he has on NXT is massive. On the main roster, instantly when I watched him, I'm like, nah, he just on the main roster just looks regular. And not to mention that they are killing Nakamura. They are killing him. He is the Miz of 2024. 2023, the Miz won like 2 matches all year. The Miz, now Nakamura, just getting killed over, and he was Chad Gable before that. Like, he's getting killed. I don't know, man. Yeah, and I'm looking forward to it, man. I'm a bit worried. That I don't know if they've got I don't know if they're going to do the NXT thing first. Because, I mean, there's a story there, obviously. You could come in and go, listen, they could bring him in and just go, Roman's missing. So I've come in to be the head of the bloodline. And then Solo can be like, you can't be. And Jimmy can be like, you can't be. Who told you that? And he can just say, well, the elders told me. The elders said that I'm here to take over while Roman's doing whatever. Then it could be a little thing there. Who knows? I'm looking forward to it, though. I'm not going to try to book it myself too much. I'm going to give him a chance, but said hello over and over again. Oh, that's probably it's Uncle Howdy. Probably. Did anyone see the Uncle Howdy glitch on Raw? Had like hello in the bottom corner. So I think it's Uncle Howdy again. Which is Bo Dallas. Interested? Nah, we got the draft coming. The draft's in 2 weeks. So yeah, gotta keep up honesty, man. We on board with Sons of Anarchy either. Me too. Although he needs to get his missus back in it. Hold on, no. Yeah, he doesn't actually. Yeah. Where's Valhalla gone? She gone back with her boyfriend. Well, husband. Oh no, man. Alex, I don't think is a mistake. It was. Yeah, it's both. It's if anyone. So basically, on Raw, when Bronson Reed was talking about winning the Battle Royal, the screen glitched, and then in the corner it said hello in white writing. And you know, anyone knows country stuff and that. What's another word for hello? Howdy, howdy, ho, Kyle. Howdy, Mr. Hanky, and that. So I think it's Uncle Howdy still. And they were playing the thingy as well, the White Rabbit song in the stadium. So it was Dreadmere doing the jokes today. Oh yeah, Dreadmere, man. People really thought Dreadmere was Bo Dallas on it. Literally says in the description that it's nothing to do with Bo Dallas WWE. I like the channel though. Anyway, guys, got to get out of here, man. I have a Liverpool match to get to, which kicks off in about 4 minutes. But love for the love. I hope everyone's well. Thanks for coming over to the channel. I enjoyed it. I didn't expect anybody to be on at all, to be honest, because, well, yeah, I just didn't expect everyone to be on. But thank you. You know what I mean? Thanks for taking out your time. I know you love these anyway. Next time I'll try to make it a little bit more less impromptu than it. But as I said, I wasn't really going to talk about this. Obviously, I couldn't do a reaction video because I'm not Tony Khan would have took my shit down and mashed it up. But I want to engage a little bit more. I need you guys to I don't need you to do anything, actually. I'm not trying to ask more of you. I would say leave stuff in the comment section. Maybe if I put stuff in the community tab, all I need you to do is reply to that. And sometimes I might just ask a question. Do you want to see this? Are you guys around to have this? Just so I can do it. If I'm going to do a video, I know when it. Obviously, the pre-recorded stuff's fine. But I'm just on about live streams. But if you like continuing with Savage Talk, we'll still do it once a week. Remember, I used to do it on Thursdays at the same time anyway. And so I'll probably continue doing that. And then if if a story comes out and it's immediate, we'll just do an emergency Savage Talk and run it together. But love for the love, guys. Anyone who's into football, head over to Savage Talk Sports. And I'll be on Enderman TV later on for the Liverpool call in after the game. But if you're not, then just go and enjoy the rest of your day. Take care of yourself and all that stuff. And I'll be back soon. My next video will be SmackDown. So SmackDown's tomorrow night, but in England it's technically the day after on Saturday morning. So Saturday morning later on, then I'll have the reaction videos up. Follow me on TikTok as well, man. I know TikTok sounds childish, but if you've got it, just download the app because then you can get my proper reactions over there. I don't get copyrighted over there. Although they did try and strike me for the Rock beating up Cody, and I just had to I had to appeal straight away. I said, "Motherfuckers, there's 1,000 content creators with the same video up. What are you trying to pick on me, man? You know what I'm saying? Well, I'm hated in this industry, man, bro. You know what I mean? But it's all good, man. Again, love for the love, guys. And yeah, I'll see you guys soon on it. So you know how it goes.